we will let's welcome our speaker. Over to you, Mr. Rao.
Thank you, Kevis. Let me share this. Hi,
Okay.
right. Okay. Kevis, just want to confirm you can hear me clearly and you can see my slide.
Yes, I can.
All right, sure. All right, to everyone, thank you. This is the first session for the BizIT track. I hope you had a wonderful intro sections from some awesome folks in this IT industry. So my name is Murugesh Rao. You can call me Rao. I've been in IT, as Kevis mentioned, for 28 years. I've been working in various industry in IT. I've also worked in different roles, for example, in IT operations, service delivery, and more recently in digital transformation. I'm coming into this session, and I want to talk about the business survival during this pandemic. And this topic has been on a lot of people's mind. If you look around, wherever you are today, businesses are struggling. Some even have shut down. Some are barely, surviving through. I'm not so sure how long these businesses can survive through. And this is partly because some of these businesses have stayed the same for over many years and just break even. And today's pandemic have proven that this is a recipe for disaster. And some of these businesses, sad to say, the moms and pops has been there for decades and they are shutting down because of this pandemic. What I would like to do in this session is that bring you on a journey to talk about PPE for business. I will explain what is PPE and really give you an idea how can we plan and how can we exit this pandemic, not only survive but thrive. So let's get on to it, yeah? Now, the world is on pause today. You have seen it. This pandemic has made everyone stay at home. Like where you are today, you're at home doing this virtual conference, and because of this, there are businesses out there who cannot operate as per normal. Our healthcare system has been stretched out massively. So what are the things that the healthcare systems have now adopted is their PPE, personal protective equipment, to do their job, to save lives, to care for those ills. So they are trying their level best to flatten the curve, but they cannot do it safely without the personal protective equipment, PPE. Now, when I was getting a lot of news, we are hearing about PPE shortages all over the world. People are trying to buy PPE to make sure our frontliners are safe to do their job. I was thinking, what about PPE to save our businesses? The businesses that is struggling during the COVID-19. So in order to really explain about PPE, I will use an example to illustrate what does PPE for business means, yeah? PPE stands for plan, prepare, and execute. It is actually I would say it's a guide to reinvent not only yourself, but your business to survive the current COVID-19 storm, I would say. This is about bringing people and technology closer and pushing the boundaries of norm, really thinking out of the box. How do we think differently? Yeah, the world is changing, and we are talking about the new norms today. The new norm, everybody have heard about the new norm, social distancing, wearing mask, having that 2 meters distance, shops trying to take your details before you go in. These are the new norms. It is making difficult for us to consume the services, also for businesses to offer the services. Given the current situation, given the current crisis, do nothing is a clear recipe to disaster. Your businesses will not survive without a clear plan to exit the pandemic. Now, we don't know how long this pandemic is going to last. We don't know when will there be a vaccine and how effective this will be vaccine. There are a lot of unknowns out there. But this PPE is designed for you and your businesses to think, to prepare, and to come out of this, whenever that is, from this pandemic, not only surviving, but even thriving it. That is what we are aiming to do here. Yeah. So let's get on to a case study. Now, for me to explain the PPE guide, I needed to get a case study. Now, let's use a tuition center. In a lot of countries, we have these after-school tuition centers that provide additional support. I know the kids are at home now. Most of them are at home doing online teaching and online learning. But what about these tuition centers? So let's take this hypothetical Victoria Tuition Center, VTC. VTC is a tuition center that provides on-site tuition for public schools in Malaysia. Yeah, they cater for kids from the age of 13 right up to 17. So it's headed by Rachel Lim, and she has about she's been running this tuition center for 7 years successfully with 8 full-time teachers, 7 part-time teachers, and 2 admin staff. Her site is located at a very prime area, and that, because of that, she's getting close to about 200 over students, 200 to 250 students, I may add, and she runs about 120 classes a month. So that is quite a big business that she's running, right? She schedules this, and it's been going on for the last 7 years successfully. Then came COVID-19. It almost it destroyed her business as usual model. She literally had to lock the doors of her center. There is no more revenue coming in. She was devastated. She could not even know how she needs to pay for the teachers, pay for the rentals, pay for the equipment, pay the bills, and she was lost. And this really came to a screeching halt. Now, she could survive with some savings she had, but it's not going to do much. It's not going to last more than 6 months. Now, this pandemic has gone for a very long time. We are on the 5th month, or even I'd say on the 6th month of this pandemic. And how long does it take to recover? We don't know. And her savings are quickly running out. Now, this is important for her to really plan out. And this is where the PPE comes in. Yeah, let's go on, and let me first of all explain about PPE and the areas that PPE covers. Yeah, these are the phases of PPE. Yeah, the phases of PPE. Plan. Now, she needs to come out with a plan. Now, what is the planning stage does? It's assessment, evaluation of your current business climate. Now, if you are a small business owner, you want to know where you are today. You got to know what is hitting you hard. You have to know your business. What is the impact of this COVID-19? Now, this is some very important information. There are people, there are businesses out there, they are clueless. They don't know what to do. That's one. What is the impact? What is the impact to your employee? Are they able to continue to do their job? Right? Can they do that in a safe, importantly today, right? A safe environment. Are they able to execute their job in a safe environment? That is another question. For example, for Rachel, yes, even though she opened her tuition center, kids are coming in. Are the environments safe for her to operate? Even though we can defy all the rules, which I think she should not, but let's say, is it safe? System compatibility. This is the systems she uses, the systems like her projector, the internet. It can the system take it? How compatible is this system if she wants to look forward? Well, are these systems being serviced? Are the suppliers, the vendors are able to visit her premises and service? So there is a deep investigation, analysis, and assessment that needs to be done. And I must say, you have to make it an honest assessment of your businesses, right? So when you have those information, you move on to the prepare phase. Now, this is, you have not planned it yet, but you want to know, if I move this business to a certain direction, how ready are my business, my people, and my supporting tool sets, my infrastructure? What are the gaps that I need to address? Do I have to invest more money now, today? So those are the areas that you need to spend some time, really look at. Do you have the sufficient funds to make this investment? Lastly, and this is most important, once you have a plan and you have your people ready, how are you going to execute this? Are you going to pilot this? And how are you going to learn from these pilot phases, right? How are you going to deploy how are you going to execute this? Is it in phases, in stages? And will this just fundamentally change your business model? So this is the quick description for these phases. Now, in each of these phases, there are areas. On the left-hand side, you will see areas that you need to focus. Your people. A lot of businesses, whether small, medium, even large enterprises, you need to look at the engine room, the people who drive your businesses. Work with them, talk to them, share your burden, because you're all in this together. Because remember, today's environment, it is very, very difficult to get a job. And the people are, some of those folks out there are willing to take a pay cut, just to say, look, I can work with you and survive this for the next 1 year or 6 months, and then we will see from there. Just secure my job. I know this will pass. Go create those solutions with your people. Understand your people challenges as well. Be at home. Yeah, what are they able to contribute on? What are the gaps? What are the things that we can understand? Again, this is about really coming out open and honest in the survival of your business. Number 2, infrastructure. Look at your infrastructure. Again, it is most important. Look at your infrastructure. If you are looking at infrastructure to deliver your content, should you invest into those infrastructure? Or do you think that now I have to really make a rapid deployment of my infrastructure to see whether I can reach out to the students? What about your online sessions which is going on? How is it going on? Yeah. So Rachel took a look at her infrastructure and she found out that yes, we are been doing, yeah, and she noticed that her teachers are able to communicate well with some of these tools called WhatsApp. And she wanted to see, well, can I use the same skill set and then maybe upskill some of these students to, or teachers to go into maybe Teams or other technology like Zoom. So she is using this areas, and sorry, she's using this to assess that. The third one is business applications. Business applications is your content delivery. How are you able to digitize some of your content? Remember, the physical tuition centers are full of papers, and how can she digitize that? Can she use the current skill set for teachers and say, guys, can you create a template? Can you convert the physical curriculum to a digital virtual curriculum now? And if she does that, can she deliver that content via this virtual platform? And how effective is that? That's one. The other one is that she used to get her admin staff to collect payments. Students come, either they swap their credit cards or just pay cash. Can I get the payment via bank transfer online? Can I issue invoices online? Can I do that? Can I subscribe the services from certain banks? So she's looking at that now. Lastly, and the most important, your customers. Engage your customers. And then I think this is a very important thing, because your customers is also having challenges to come to your center. So engage your customers, saying that, look, how do I continue to receive your services? I don't want my kids to be left behind. How do I continue these teaching processes? Get the customers' feedback. Some of these present unique challenges. For example, if you do online training and in a family there's 4 kids who attend this tuition center, and the home has only 2 laptops, how do you address that? Now you're going to the fundamentals, to the core, and trying to address that, and bring all these challenges to you and say, as a business, how do I deliver those businesses? I would say encourage pilots and look at and share with the parents. Look, I'm going through this. Can you share how is your experience to other parents, word of mouth, and see if other parents can join this pilot. Now these are the areas on your left hand side. Yeah. Now I have touched, let me go back. I have touched on the phases, and each of those phases we have areas. Okay. Now let's take this model. So if I want you today to take away, these are the 2 things I really want you to take away. The phases of PPE, plan, prepare, execute, and the 4 areas within those phases that you need to consider. Put them in a matrix, just like how VTC did today. So what Rachel did was, she said, let's do this. Put up the plan on your axis, put plan, prepare, and execute, and your Y axis, you put your employee, tools, business, and application, and customers. Your employees, what's your plan? Engage them earlier, work with them, be honest, co-create. You can have this exact model in your organization as well. Work with your employee. You know why? Because they are your subject matter experts. They are the people on the ground. They are your workhorse. They are able to make your business survive during the crisis. In your preparing stage for the employee, understand the gaps, train them, share them, set up a community within the groups, and try to share, understand the weaknesses, where are the gaps. Now these stages might take about a month or 2 max, right? When you execute co-leadership, work with them, tell them, dear, you are the leader of this track. Let's go ahead and do this together. Work together with your employee and push it through. Tools and infrastructures. Understand what you have today in your organizations, your laptops, your links. Test them in your preparing stages. And test them with the virtual delivery. Can you do that? And pilot them with a few students. In this case, Rachel decided to do this with a few students, students who can give her real feedback. And she got a lot of learnings from those pilots, and she continues to do that. Business applications. This is quite interesting because a lot of information is not still in a lot of public schools, it's not digitized. It is still on textbooks. What they did is that as they moved the content to digital, they also find it, how do I summarize this? How do I summarize this content and make it more effective? And this is where the teaching came in. Rather than lift from a physical to the digital, what they did is that, how can I summarize and apply different sets of tools here? And Rachel managed to find a few of her teachers are very skillful of that with their experiences. It's not about facilitating, but really about teaching. That's what she did. And then what she did is that, let's try to put it on the execute. Can I deliver this content effectively? And that's also with her payment gateway. She actually found out that, look, she have employed a bank. She got a service from a bank and doing she said, look, I need this. And then she's doing a banking. She managed to secure a bank, and parents can pay online today, right? So she managed to do that now. The payment, the receipt, the tracking is a lot simpler. In fact, it's a lot easier for her to keep track. She's actually able to give certain discounts for loyalty as well using these methods. So she has gone above and beyond. Students, the customers. Students has been engaged and students have been a brilliant of giving her ideas. They are telling teacher, this is the areas that I think you need to focus on because this is quite done very well in certain schools. These are the areas that I feel that we need to focus on for this group of people. She decided that there's a two-way communication that's just going on. Two-way. And the training plan actually has been simplified for her. So Rachel has learned more and become more effective and efficient to do this. And as she onboard in the students batches, as she onboard students by batches, she also have learned that there are a lot of areas that she is fine-tuning in terms of the content, the delivery, and also feedback to the tuition teachers as they deliver those contents. There is always been a two-way feedback. There's a two-way feedback. So these are moving quite aggressively for Rachel. So after, so Rachel's been on this journey and she's now on the execution journey. And in Malaysia, the lockdown is being slowly lifted, and there are a few tuition centers that's open. So does Rachel's. Now, what Rachel has found out that is that the VTC rebranded themselves and took this opportunity. She did not sit quiet. Remind you, Rachel is not an IT savvy person, right? But she is willing to learn. She's willing to change. To survive this, a business that she cared dearly, she said, look, let me change. Let me take a bit of risk. Let me do that because she knows doing nothing is not an option. So this is what she's gone through. She did not only survive, she seems to be thriving in this because a lot of other centers did not follow the same path. They were not ready. They were not planning. They were thinking that COVID-19, this pandemic, will just go away in a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, they did not survive. Rachel attribute this success not only to the tools that she had, but also the people that she worked with who joined her in this digital transformation. There's a saying now that COVID-19 expedited the digital transformation. Think about this scenario. Without the COVID-19, I doubt it that Rachel would have even thought of doing this, going through. Yeah. So this is a success story. I'm hoping that you got the gist of it in terms of the success of VTC. Now, just to recap, there's one or two slides I would like to share in terms of what else can you do. But just to recap about Rachel's journey to this one. Rachel used to run a classroom, a physical classroom. She is she does that. She is brilliant in what she does, but COVID-19 literally stopped her on the track. She could not move. She was devastated, a business she cares a lot about, just like all of you, those small and medium business owners, just like all of you. She cannot, she cared more about the business. She had to leave her comfort zone. She needs to plan and prepare and execute. She needs to adopt this PPE. Her journey into the virtual classroom center, that's virtual tuition center, it's been an interesting journey for her. She never thought she would have done this. Now, this is similar to a lot of you businesses. Now, you are able to execute the business in the old ways. The new norm have changed quite drastically. And what Rachel did, just like you, Rachel was afraid, she was nervous, she was putting a lot of money, she was taking a lot of risk, She was not only taking a risk with the business, with the people, there's a potential this might not work, but she had to do it. Now, as Malaysia now opens up, as she goes back to normal businesses, that's something she's doing quite differently. As tuition centers are shutting down, believe it or not, Rachel today is actually hiring more teachers to meet the demand of virtual classroom. Yes, that is right. There are students, there are parents who want to send their kids to the tuition center. Yes, that is the business which is slowly getting back to its feet, but there is another demand. So what she has done is that, oh, wow, there seems to be a demand. Now, not only her business have managed to survive the COVID-19 pandemic, she is now thriving post-COVID-19. Now, we are not out of the woods for COVID-19. Yes, I agree. But some countries have done a fantastic job and they are slowly opening up. And when you open up slowly, your businesses needs to come back on your feet. And the new norm have been really taking these opportunities and really make that change. Now, before I move on to some other tips, let me ask yourself some of these questions. Yeah. As I start this presentation, you have to be honest with yourself in your business today, wherever you are in this world, you have to be honest and ask yourself, how has this new normal, this pandemic has impacted my operating environment, my customers' landscape, and my businesses? Write it down. No matter how painful it is, write it down today. You can start it now. Take a piece of paper, write it down today. That is the first start. Once you write down, do not worry, there's a lot. Do not worry if there is 20, 30 items. Do not worry, just write it down as long as you're honest about it. That is what we want. And once you have done that, you then go on, what are the new opportunities? Now, when you look at the new opportunities, talk to your employees, talk to your partners, talk to your ecosystem, your business ecosystem, and say, well, how can I do this differently? Not today, but the new norm post-COVID-19. Right? When you do this exercise, again, facts matters. Understand the reality on the ground. Go out and then talk to people or call them up and say, talk to them. Really get your information, your facts. Make sure they are facts, they're factuals, yeah? Get help. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. There are banks, governments, and all their institutions that also wants you to be back on your feet because you are a driver for this economic crisis that we have because of this COVID. They are willing to pay. They're willing to give you loans. Understand the loan terms and conditions. Go out and get loans and find out how can I get the loan? What is the plan? Right, but make sure you have a plan before you get the loans because this money you have to pay back and you have to use it wisely. There are a lot of initiatives by the governments simply to help the businesses like you to survive. Now take this opportunity to thrive as well. Now, when you look at your assessment and your opportunities, do not be shy. Do not be shy and to look at new products. You may say, Rao, I am surviving. Are you telling me I have to look at new products and new service portfolio? Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Remember VTC, Rachel was not able to operate physical tuition centers in her premises. She decided to create a completely different channel, and that channel is thriving. And guess what? She's also able to hire remote teachers who can be anywhere in the country. And I believe she's looking at above and beyond. And these are new service offerings. So don't hold back. Share your ideas and get solid feedback from your ideas. But importantly, always in touch with the reality on the ground. Yeah. So these are the questions you need to ask yourself. So these slides will be shared with you after this event, but make sure you understand the change, look at the opportunities, and be honest with yourself. Look out for help, and also potentially look at new service offering. Yeah. Now, before I end my session, I was trying to see what are the tips, what are the other tips that I wanted to, it's simple tips, yeah, I wanted to give it to and share with you. Now, in the past many years, you know how we have done a lot of review. We have all this online subscription that we've been paying, right? We've been paying online subscriptions, and then sometimes with just a glance of it, maybe you want to look at those subscriptions. Yeah, those are the rates. Is this what I wanted to share with you? Yeah, and if you have magazines, if you're non-IT organizations, which I think half of the audience are, and you're still receiving those magazines, those books and everything, maybe you want to review that and stop it for a while. Try to save as much as you can today. Review those things. Brainstorm survival skills. Work with your employees and employees. Work with the people around you, and really look out for those ideas. For me, those are our asset in our organization. Subject matter experts. They can help us to say. They may come back to you. Actually, you don't have to do all these things because I think we can do it. And you don't have to do the 10 steps. You can do it the 3 steps. You can save money and time, and then we can talk to our customers about it. So those are some of those things that we can do. Offer remote services. I'm going to give you a good example about offer remote services. A lot of parents are used to send kids to music class, piano class, violin, guitar, drum classes. And potentially some of these parents might have those equipments at home as well. Now, I know of a music center that's, parents flock the music center every weekend and send kids for half an hour or 1 hour sessions. What they have done is that they have gone completely online. They started with a simple WhatsApp video call kind of thing, and now they have transformed themselves. Hey, can I offer these services online with you? Now, you can come to my classes for the first couple of weeks, and then once you get the basic right, maybe you can go on to do offline with me. And guess what? They're able to get more students now. So these are the things that you want to think about. Yeah, digital transformation is pushing a lot of remote services. Now, in terms of benefits, yeah, I've got on the right hand side. I know it's going to be a bit hard, but in terms of benefits, scaling back benefits, this is going to be hard. This is why I'm saying that, yeah, sometimes we business owners should sometimes prejudge their employees. You should not, because sometimes an employee says, look, I am able to work with you with a pay cut. I only need to secure a job. And that's all the business may require for them to survive through. Once the business recover, hey, maybe I'll pay you back. So again, talk to the people around you and say, maybe can I do this? We are in this together as one. Together as one. Inspire the confidence in your team. Basically, as a leader, as a business owner, you may want to say, guys, we are in this together. If the business goes down today, I am going down too. But we can do this together. Build the confidence. And I bet you with some businesses have taken a 70% pay cut. I remember a hotel in a remote area in a small town have said to their staff, they have been running this hotel for about 17 years. This is the first time COVID-19 has brought the hotel down to the knees. The hotel management said, you need to take a 70% pay cut and you need to do all this stuff. Are you with me? The hotel owner said, I love this hotel. I've been working very hard for this hotel. I've been working on this brand for a very long time. I've been surviving many crises. This is the crisis that I need your help. To his surprise, a majority of the employees say, look, we will stick with you as long as you can guarantee us a job. We'll take the pay cut. And when the time is right, you will pay us back. And that's what happened. And they are slowly, after 4 to 5 months of close to zero occupancy rate, and through a few months of 70% of pay cut, the occupancy rate has gone up 60 to 70% as the country slowly open up. And guess what? Everyone in that hotel have a job. And when they have a job, they are feeding the family. So this is what has happened. The employee and the employer relationship, the leadership, I would say communication and engagement has gone, the bonding has gone stronger. It's a strong teamwork. Yeah. Now, I'm hoping that you have had a good understanding about PPE and the areas and the tips for you to survive in this pandemic. Now, I would like to share some of my contacts here. So you can find me on LinkedIn. That's my LinkedIn out there. I'm also on Facebook. I'm running an NGO. Just want to put it out there. I run a motivational program for rural kids. That's on my Facebook. I'm also a runner. I'm a marathoner. That's on my Instagram. And if you like to get in touch with me via email, please get onto my Hotmail or my Gmail account. And I'm hoping I can open up for question and answers. And that's about from my side. Thank you. Kevis?